Welcome to Ultimate Fighting Chat. I'm going to have a chat with you about the UFC Paris event that's just gone. But before we do, on one of our last vids, we got a comment. So I'm going to bring that comment up on the screen, read it out, respond to it. The comment here is from Yado Yaya. Now, is that his name, or is he doing a yada yada? You know, that kind of I just do chats type of thing. Or is his name Yado Yaya? You're supposed to be responding. Oh, well, all right. Well, you don't know then.
Well, anyway.
Well, I suppose. Well, all right. Yeah, but sometimes people do a play on words thing, don't they?
Yeah, I don't think
anyway.
It's Yaddy. Anyway, go on.
Okay, right. So, thanks very much. Is it Yado or Yardo?
Yado, I would say, but I
okay,
can't. I don't know.
Thanks very much.
I know this guy.
Okay, yeah, but I'm just. Okay. Yado, thanks very much for commenting. And he commented, this is what he said. Usman versus Khamzat winner faces Leon. Give the champ a break. If they went the full 5 rounds with no KO, then yeah. Thanks for comment. Let's have a chat about it. What are we saying? Let's respond to him. Are you reading it? Are you knowing it?
No, firstly, I'd say, well, Khamzat's definitely got to beat Diaz. I know, obviously, most people think that it's definitely going to happen, but he still has to beat Diaz first, and then you'd have to set up a fight against Usman. So that would give Leon a nice break. But the truth is, if there's probably one champ in recent times that I think deserves an immediate rematch, it's Usman, and
he deserves a break. He just got his head booted off, didn't he?
Yeah, but this guy's talking about that Leon deserves a break.
Well, yeah, I know. I realise that, and that's why he's saying, you know, Usman versus Khamzat faces him. But it's like Leon needs a break. Don't Usman need a break? He's just had his head booted off. I mean,
well, yeah, he would need a break more than Leon, I think, to get to probably get his brain unscrambled. But yeah, I would say that relies on Khamzat beating Diaz, which is not guaranteed, and you then also, like I say, that will give Leon a nice break. But I don't think Usman want to risk his pretty much guaranteed rematch to fight Khamzat, because that is, one, it's a risky fight. It's probably stylistically a more difficult matchup for him than a Leon Edwards rematch, because he's done, pretty much 8 rounds with Edwards now, and he's won 7 rounds of those 8 rounds. So I don't think he'd want to risk that title shot. He's deserving of a rematch. Usually I hate immediate rematches. I hate when they just go, oh, well, he was the champ for 3 defenses, so he deserves a rematch. So shouldn't always be the case. But I think in this instance, as much as I don't want Usman to just be champ again, because it will almost feel like the Edwards win never happened, I just feel that you can't deny him the right to an immediate reply. So I think he's got to have that rematch. If Edwards does need a break, if Edwards does say that he needs a break or he does need a break, then give him a break. But I'm sure Usman's willing to wait 3, 4, 5, 6 months, because he's been a very active champion and he's just been knocked out. So I'm sure he wouldn't be adverse to waiting on the sidelines for a little bit anyway. But yeah, I can't see him wanting to put that definite guaranteed rematch on the line against someone like Chimaev. No, just provided Chimaev beats Diaz as well. If I was his advisor, I would definitely say, no, just wait for Edwards. We can work on some left high kick defense, and you know, you can have a bit of a break, because, like I say, he's been very active, and come back fresh. And in his mind, he'll probably win rounds 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 and regain his title in his head. Whether he does or not remains to be seen. So, yeah, I mean, I would like that, because I'd love to see Usman versus Khamzat more than I wouldn't see Usman versus Leon 3. I can't see it happening in that order.
Well, sticking with Yado's comment, I don't really think it matters whether Khamzat beats Diaz or not, because Diaz, if he stays or goes. Let's put it this way. I mean, he's the last fight in his contract. The current chat is that he's going to go after it and do other stuff. And if that's the case, then I suppose, does Diaz beating him up mean that Usman versus Khamzat's not a fight to make? Or, he don't have to do Diaz to get an Usman fight, does he? Because they'd both be coming off losses, if you like. No?
So you're saying if Khamzat lost to Diaz, would he still be able to have a fight against Usman, who's just
yeah? Because at the beginning of that chat, you said he has to get through Diaz first, but does he? I mean, he has to get through him first, but does he have to win?
For this hypothetical scenario to happen, he would have to beat Diaz. Yeah,
would he?
I think so. Yeah.
Well, Usman's lost, and then
but it doesn't matter because Usman is still considered higher up the rankings and more dangerous opponent, let's say, than Diaz, one of a better term. So yeah, I think if he lost to Diaz, I don't think they'd go, well, now you can have Usman. I think they'd drop him down and probably have him fight, someone like a bit lower down the rankings, a Wonder Boy, a Bilal, or someone like that. I don't think they'd go, well, have the former champ. You've just got beaten by Diaz. You weren't expected to lose that fight. Here you go. You might as well have the champ next, or the former champ next. Just couldn't see that happening. So I don't think they want to. Usman versus Khamzat, I think, is ideal for a title shot or a title fight, should I say? Provided Usman beats Edwards in.
You mean what is it? The number one contender spot version?
I just don't see why you do Usman versus Khamzat unless there was a belt on the line. Unless, of course, Usman gets beaten by Edwards again, then obviously you would make Edwards versus Khamzat. So, anyway, that's...
Okay, well, Yado's saying Leon go on holiday. In the meantime,
I know what he's saying. I'm just saying that no, I don't see any way in which this happens. I might be wrong, but I don't see any way.
Okay. Well, we'll see about that.
Yeah, we will. Well, I might be wrong, and if I am wrong, then I'll hold my hands up. And
this is all Yado done was put on the matchmaker's hat and go, "This is what I would do." Yeah. Unless he's had a chat with Leon as well, and Leon's gone, "Yeah, look, let the boys know that I want a break." Go, right, well, if you want a break, have a break. You can have a break, and in the meantime, if you're having a break, we'll do Usman versus Khamzat. Now, let's just say,
I don't think anyone would be adverse to seeing that fight, right? Usman versus Khamzat. I'm just saying the order in which it happens, I would say, is not going to happen in this order. It's going to happen in the other order, which is Usman fights Leon, Khamzat fights Diaz, and then the two winners will square off in probably early next year or something.
All right.
Next year.
Well, we appreciate the comment.
Yeah, brilliant.
Thanks for that. Yeah, nice one. And that's it. That's that chat done. Although he's put here, if they went the full 5 rounds without a KO, then yeah. What's he saying there? He's saying he's saying because he got left head kicked and knocked out. He's rematch. Is that what he means? Immediate rematch if there was no knockout?
I don't know. You'd have to ask him.
Well, we are asking him essentially, aren't we?
Well, yeah, you can follow it.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I'm guessing. That's my guess. My assumption is that he means that. But I don't know. Anyone could deserve a break. Leon Edwards ain't been that active, really.
Yeah, I don't.
Man has.
Outside of injuries, I don't really want to see Edwards taking a big break because, like you say, he hasn't really been that active. He's had the fight. He had the Bilal Muhammad fight, which obviously ended early. So yeah, I'd like to see him in there sooner rather than later.
So would I. So I'm sorry, Yado. We don't want Edwards to have a break.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So sorry about that. No break. But thanks for commenting. Appreciate it very much so. And if you want to respond back with anything,
tell us we're talking crap.
Well, we don't need to be told that. We already know that. So we'll go through this card one by one on the all this jive prelims first. And the first fight to discuss or not discuss, potentially discuss, is Stephanie Egger versus Ailin Fiona Perez. Now, the nickname Fiona. What's happening there then? What's that all about? Ailin Fiona. Maybe that's she's going. I've got two names. I don't know what's happened there. Really.
Is that actually her nickname, or is that not just she's got a double barrel name?
Oh, for God's sake! I don't know.
Right. Well, it sounds just like she's got a double barrel name to me.
All right. Okay. Well, I don't know. There you go. Did you not watch this fight?
Good research. No, I missed the first couple of fights on the card.
Okay. It
was on in Paris, and so I missed the start of the card.
Oh, was you not aware that it was on in Paris?
I expected it to be on from 10 o'clock onwards, but then
and was you unaware of this being on in Paris?
I think I was watching like an Aston Villa football match or something like that.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it got to towards the end of it, and I went, "Oh, hang on a second, there's a UFC on." I quickly switched it over, and it was Haqparast versus the Bull Makdessi.
Well, we can't chat about that fight yet. We've got to chat about Stephanie Egger versus Ailin Fiona Perez. Look, I can't remember exactly, but I believe that Egger wasn't meant to be on this card, and she jumped in for someone last-minute version, because if you remember, she was only fighting a couple of weeks ago, or it seems like only a couple of weeks ago.
The mystery armbar.
Did she do? Oh, that was that fight, was it? Yeah. Okay, well, that was her, was it? The one that didn't contest that she tapped?
Yeah, that was the one. It was the one where Silva was crying because she felt a tap, let the arm go, and Egger just sort of stood there a little bit, kind of looking confused. But, you could say that she was perhaps hoping to get a favourable decision of the refs or something. But I think one of the judges, wasn't it, said, look, I definitely 100% saw a tap. And you can tell by her reaction that she definitely tapped, because she didn't put up any kind of resistance, or when she stood up, she didn't kind of look confused or quizzical about why the fight had all of a sudden been stopped. So
yeah,
she looks pretty guilty. But anyway, that's it. That's
should have just contested it straight away. It may not have been that. It could have just been confusion over the whole thing. Maybe she knew she tapped, but the fight sort of seemed to not instantly get stopped. Who knows? And then you've got, what's her name, Bruno Silva or something. She was all up in arms. It's like, what's happening? Who knows? But there's no contesting taps unless you contest taps. That's all there is to it. Right? It's just as well she didn't. What was the other famous one of those? Famous was a bit of a crap comment. What was the other one of note of
Alistair Overeem versus Miocic?
Was that, yeah, brilliant.
I found a tap.
I put in tap. It's like, oh, did we? Well, let's have a look at the replay then.
Nasty, wasn't it? Putting it on like a live broadcast to see that, yeah, he was wrong. When he felt something in a fight, which he could very conceivably have felt, right? It's possible that he did feel something on his shorts, wherever it might have been. Anyway, we're not here to talk about over.
Maybe it was no, but yeah, it doesn't matter. We relate to other.
Yeah, but this Egger, there wasn't a mystery tap in this fight, was there? She won this fight, so we're talking about from her fight here to an old fight that she had. And now we're talking about bloody Alistair Overeem. So.
No, what we're talking about is mystery taps. That was your comment. You said mystery tap, and they're both mystery taps. Yeah, I'm just drawing a parallel, or is it a bad comparison?
Might be.
But I weren't really comparing them, but I think. Well, anyway, this fight was actually all right.
All right. Well, I'll have to take your word for it. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, but didn't it had a finish, didn't it? She just rear naked choked her and that's it, hasn't it?
That's right, yeah. It says submission rear naked choke round 2.
Yeah, so there was nothing... she put us out of our misery quick because it came on and I went, oh, no, crap! But it turns out that, it was only crap for a little while. Anyway, next fight is Khalid, the warrior Taha versus Cristian Problema Quinonez. Quinonez. Who?
Quinonez.
No, Quinonez.
I didn't see it, and I'm not really an expert on these names, but yeah, isn't it Quinonez?
Okay, what do we think of the nickname the Warrior?
Yeah, garbage, isn't it?
Honestly, yeah. not being nasty, it is a good fighting name, right? Because Warriors fight.
It's not even bad. It's not even garbage. Even though I just said it was. It's just too,
but it is
too obvious. It's just too sort of obvious that sort of a name. He's got an amazing bob, though, hasn't
he? He has, yeah. By the way, you didn't see this. Can I ask? Do you remember either of these blokes from previous fights? You remember? Is this Cristian Problema bloke? Is he had other fights in UFC? Because I don't remember him, but he was pretty good.
I don't remember.
Does it say he's his debut?
He was a newcomer, so it was his promotional debut. Yeah,
he's quite good, mate.
All right, I'll take your word for it. I'm saying.
Yeah. No, okay,
Khalid,
I'm just letting you know.
4 losses, 1 no contest, 1 win in his 6 UFC fights. So he's had a difficult start.
He was decent, I think. I'm not going to do what
I've seen Khalid before, and I actually thought he was all right when I've seen him before. So
he got done. Well, there you go. There you go. So the Problema done him. That's what I'm saying. Right.
He should maybe keep that aggression and pop down his tattooists.
Okay. Let's have a look at that in more detail, shall we? Hang on.
It's a Dragon Ball tattoo, isn't it, on his arm?
Oh, yeah. So it is.
Yeah, and the other one, I actually don't mind the artwork. It's just...
Is that a deer in the middle, is it?
Yeah, I kind of quite like the, deers are amazing, aren't they? Stag or whatever. So, kind of good picture.
What's on the right and left? Can you see what the other things are?
No, it looks like... Is that as close as we can go in? It looks like he's got an eagle going on his throat.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I can see it now. I've made it full screen on my screen, and he's got eagle throat. That's real. On the right, I mean, it's not the best tattoo if you can't make out what it is, because you get a really good view of the thing on the right, and I can't tell you what it is. See his nick coming right through.
As a bit of artwork, I'm not mad on the Dragon Ball one, but as a bit of artwork, the stag one is, I think, pretty good. But if it was on a canvas or
T-shirt or something, yeah,
on a bit of paper, but I wouldn't necessarily transfer it onto my chest. But
yeah, well,
that's just because I'm not really the kind of guy who can pull off tattoos, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, look, what's wrong with the Dragon Ball?
I'm not sure he can either. But go on, sorry.
What's wrong with the Dragon Ball tattoo?
Nothing wrong with it. Just I just don't know how you can ever be into a show that much that you want to get it tattooed on your body. I mean, is he still going to like Dragon Ball when he's 80? I know people don't get tattoos with these sort of thoughts in mind, but you're still going to be into Dragon Ball when you're 80?
Well, yeah, I don't see why not. Well, what's your favourite? Let's go with the TV show, not film. Favorite TV? No, it can be anything, because you might struggle with a TV show. If you can, what's your favorite?
I'm not going to get David Brent on my arm or on my chest or something.
Oh, right. So that's what I'm saying. So you do the what's his name? What that bloke did with?
Okay, let's put it like this, right? My favorite film.
Brent with a guitar on your arm. Is that what you do?
Which one? What?
Brent with a guitar on your arm, like the Johnny Cash.
Yeah, brilliant. That wouldn't be bad. Yeah, but growing up, my favorite film was Predator, as you know.
Okay, what about having him on you?
Well, here's the thing, right? So I could have got the Predator banged on my arm, but that franchise now is absolute dog do. And I'd now be like, everyone thinks I'm into Predator, and I am. I still love the original film, still think it's great. And even number 2 is pretty good. But then, I've got Predators, The Predator, Prey, the 2 AVPs, and they are all absolute dog. So now I've got like a tattoo of a bloke on my arm who's only got a 2 out of 7 win ratio in movies.
Well, maybe the mistake there is getting the Predator. If you'd say got Schwarzbanger in Predator, would that be better? Because that's the original, there's no mistaking.
Yeah, but I'm not going to get like Dutch from Predator put on my arm.
Right.
The thing is, I could get the Predator from the original movie, because it actually does look different from the Predators in the other movies. But I ain't doing that either. I wouldn't. Like I said, there's nothing that I like enough. I love lamb chops, right? Love lamb chops. I mean, the best thing in the world. I'm not allowed. I don't eat them anymore, right? So
yeah,
even if I got lamb chops put on my arm, I'll be looking at them going, I don't even eat them anymore. It's just
okay.
life changes, right?
No, but the question is, you've got no choice. You've got to do it. And if you've got no choice, you've got to do it. You said you'd have to have Brent on your arm.
No, I wouldn't have Brent on my arm.
No, okay. No, right. Okay, well, then you've got to pick who you would have. What TV show and character would you have on your arm? The film, you've said, you didn't say, you haven't answered it. You said you could put the Predator on. And I'm saying you have to choose. You ain't got no choice. You have to have it done. Got to walk around with it and everything. You know, you put your T-shirt on and cover it up. You've got to have a TV, something on your arm. Can be a logo, you know.
There's no TV show. There's no film.
There was. It's Brent.
There's nothing that I like enough to permanently.
Right, but because you're being forced, right, to do it, you have to do it. It don't matter that you don't like it enough. It's under duress, but you got no choice. You've got to do it. So you've got to pick the best of a bad bunch. You don't want to do it. I appreciate that.
I'll get back to you.
I don't want to do it.
I'll think about it.
You'll think about it.
Well, yeah, who would you have?
Well, look, if I say what was your favourite TV show, then I guess I'd have to say Knight Rider, right? Growing up. So I guess I'd either have to have Kit or Hasselhoff. And I suppose I'd go, well, let's go with the car.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
No, I like the Hoff, but I'm just saying, I guess I'd have to have the Kit. But for film...
Snake in the Eagle's shadow.
The problem here is, as you say, it's not just the way things date, it's what comes afterwards. So I do think that something from that era would probably go, yeah, I'd probably get Jackie Chan from that or Drunken Master. But like you say, they've been tainted over years. Not the not him and the original, but I don't know. You'd have to get something timeless, a bit more... Yeah, the Shaw Brothers logo or something like that instead, rather than no, I've got to pick a bloke. That's too easy. It's got to be a bloke or a character, and in that case, I think I would go with Sam Seed, so Chan's teacher in Snake and Eagle Shadow and Drunken Master. So that old granddad beggar, so hot. Yeah, I'll take him. That's without thinking about it, you know, because the tattoo bloke standing there, I can't take all day. He's there with a needle. He's like, come on. So that's part of the challenge is you've got to just go, all right, okay, I guess Predator's my favourite. So you've got to do a film one. And you can't take all that. You can't think about it. Or you get the needle in your throat or something and just smash it out.
Well, you tell me I've got to pick something now, right?
Yeah. So both things, TV and film. I've done mine now and that's it. Even look, I could come up with something later and go, damn it, I should have chose that. It's too late. I've got Kit on one arm and Sam Seed on the other. Yun Xiu Tian is his name, for real. Classic. Oh, for God's sake. Right. You'd basically get a tattoo needle in your neck then.
I have a needle in my neck. It's better than getting David Brent on me arm for the rest of my life.
It's brilliant. Look, at the end of the day, they're the ones you brought up. Brent on one arm, but the guitar version, because you want to be like Johnny Cash and you want to pay homage to, what's his name? Business's mate. The bloke who's got cash on his arm. Belcher. Yeah, you want to pay tribute to Belcher. And the other arms, I'm going to go with a Predator monster. I've made the decision for you. And can I ask, is there a difference? You say that, of course, that's been tainted over the years with the bad sequels. But can I ask, would someone who's real at Predator be able to look and go, that Predator is the orig, or does he look the same in all these films?
No, there are differences, but the Predator in the new Prey film looks quite a lot different to the other Predators, but you could easily mistake, say, the Predator in the original. I know a real sort of nerd might be able to tell the difference, but even the ones in Requiem, they kind of like, I think at some stage they kind of spliced with aliens, but just at a glance, you could mistake all the Predators for the first Predator. And someone thinks I've got bloody Alien versus Predator Requiem tattoo on my arm.
It's still Predator, isn't it?
That's just too much of a risk. It's too much of a risk. So
okay, well, it's better than a ink needle in the neck, I think. But
yeah,
although some people do that Quinonez has put a bloody eagle on his throat.
I can't remember things that I like that much.
Well, you don't really like that much, really. Yeah. All right, okay. Well, look, on the bottom of the screen, it says we're chatting about Paris fight night. But it ain't our fault. Next fight. Benoit St. Denis versus, that's his name, right? Benoit St. Denis?
Well, I mean, I imagine a French person. I mean, I'm going to sound really pompous now, but it's only because you're forcing me to sound pompous. A French guy might say something a bit more Benoit Saint Denis or something like that. But
let's have it be a bit more confident with it, because
no,
I don't know his name.
no, I'm not.
Please,
No.
please. I just thought it was Benoit St. Denis.
Benoit, like Chris Benoit. Benoit Saint Denis.
Okay, yeah. See, now, I did struggle with the Denis bit because Denis is 2 N's, isn't it? So I went, what? It still says Denis, but okay. Did you see this fight with Gabriel Fly Miranda?
Nope.
As you can see, it got performance of the night. And I have to say, it was good. Now, this St. Denis bloke, he's some sort of ex-military, army, powers, SAS, Ant Middleton. Well, look at the shot.
Gabriel Miranda looks well cool.
He does, doesn't he? Yeah, he didn't look as cool on the night, but I admit that shot is good. He had a bit of grease on the night. But this St. Denis, right, okay. And mind what happened in the fight is in the result. I think Denis won by a stoppage at some point.
Yeah, round 2, wasn't it?
Right. It was a good fight.
Right at the start of round 2.
Okay. Yeah. That's because he absolutely blazed him at the end of round 1. And, it was kind of...
Didn't recover.
Yeah, it was kind of lucky that the ref didn't wave it off and let him walk back to the stall. But because he did get up and walk back to the stall, because I think he was getting smashed on the floor, really powers. But it was a good fight. It was an exciting fight. It got performance of the night. I can't say whether it deserves that over the others yet because I'm revisited the others. But it was a good one. This St. Denis, he's brilliant powers, right? You can tell he's a soldier sort of bloke, as in ain't scared, don't care, walk through anything. But I have to be honest, he's a bit stiff. I think his skills were good, but he didn't move that head once. So he was getting tagged and all. It's just that he was rock solid and went, it don't matter. I'm like a tank. So it don't matter. So I don't know where that's going to get him long term. He won that fight and the crowd went nuts because he's, well, as you say, he's not Benoit St. Denis because of where he was. He's Benoit St. Denis. So they went nuts. Fair enough. And it was a decent fight. And I do think he was good, by the way. I kind of preferred Miranda's skills. It's just that the Denis bloke is, like I say, he's like a tank and walks through anything. But someone else might bang him out. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So there you go. Anyway, it was decent, that fight. Next one. And you got nothing to say about that because you never saw it, right?
I saw it, no.
Okay. Have you seen this one?
No, I've told you now. I joined it at Haqparast versus...
Oh, yeah, you did say that. Sorry. Yeah, I do remember you saying it now.
Right,
you miss loads?
Ask me one more time and there's going to be a problem.
Okay. All right. You're going to put a tattoo needle in my throat. I'll have... I don't know what I'd have on my throat. That's another time.
Always praying hands, isn't it? It's always those praying hands.
Yeah. Or what's Garbrandt got on his throat? What about Des from Devil Driver? Has he got an eyeball in his throat or something, ain't he?
What a rubbish idea, an eyeball in your throat.
No, he's thirded it.
He's got an eyeball with like loads of lines or something like that. It don't look good in his throat tattoo.
It's a pretty powers mess, that's for sure, yeah. Right, so Perez, smile killer Ziam. Is he the smile killer because you come in and go, I'm going to have a fight with you and I'm here to enjoy myself, Bruce Leroy, Cazares, Sam Alvey style, but he wipes a smile off your face? Or when you see him with your girlfriend, it wipes a smile off your face because she's going to want to do him? Well, what is the reason for the smile killer, I wonder?
No idea. I doubt it's either of those, though.
You don't? Well, okay, you come up with one.
Well, I can't.
Oh, okay. So I came up with 2, you come up with none, and mine have been smashed. Against Michal, Mad Dog, Figlak. I think I remember liking this fight, and I think I like both of them. And I do think this Faraz Ziam, he's good, mate.
Yeah, I think he's good. Yeah, I've seen him before. Yeah,
Okay, all right, okay.
Hmm.
What was the result of this, please? I know Ziam won, but I can't remember how.
It's a decision, unanimous decision.
Yeah, all right. Okay, that's it. I think he's good. I did quite like Mad Dog and all. Anyway, I'm moving on until I get to a fight what we can actually discuss. Right.
Yep.
He's getting on my nerves, the ball.
Why?
Hang on. John Makdessi versus Nasrat Haqparast. Because all these fights are the same.
Yeah, I know where you're coming from.
And they're just getting a bit...
Doesn't fight regular enough either.
He don't, that's for sure.
One fight a year since 2017. So one in 2017, one 2018, one 2019, 2020, 2021, now 2022. He won't, it's unlikely he'll squeeze another one in this year. So he's only had like one fight a year for the last sort of six years. And it's hard to build up any momentum. I may have had injuries and stuff like that we don't know about, but it's hard to build up any momentum or a following or a fan base if you're sort of just popping up on people's screens like once a year. You know?
He's got brilliant skills, and I'm sure you agree that he looks like a well-talented martial arts bloke, but I'm sure he's as frustrated as I am with these fights that he's just like, I don't know. At the end of it, I go, what was the point? Another one of these fights where, you know, according on the Makdessi side, where just, you know, there was nothing happened. You know, he had the fight, he lost it on a decision, and that's the end of the story. Now, there's a bit more of a story on the other side with Haqparast and the way he fought this fight. What did you think of it?
Well, I thought it was a pretty standard Haqparast performance. Maybe a little less aggressive than he's been in past fights, but he was coming off 2 defeats. I think he's had to have a bit of I think he came in and he looked really good when he came in. And he probably thought, I'm going to crack into this top 15, no problem. And then he's lost his last 2, and it's maybe just given his confidence a bit of a knock, or made him just kind of go, all right, I need to be a bit more calculated with what I'm doing here. And that's what it seemed like to me in this fight. He knew he was just edging out Makdessi, I think, in each round. And it's kind of what happened, right? He just kind of walked away with a 30-27, didn't get overly aggressive, didn't do much more than he had to do, didn't put himself in too much danger. And that was kind of it. It wasn't a bad fight. I think both guys fought decent. There was some decent skills on display, but it was just sort of a fight where I kind of went, you know, like just by round 3, I was a little bit like, you know,
see what I mean?
Yeah, and that's strange. So I do think Makdessi's good, and I think Haqparast is good, and I don't think it was a bad fight. I just think it was
all right.
Uneventful. That's what I'd probably say. It was just a bit uneventful.
Makdessi
just seemed almost like I don't want to say a sparring session, because that gives the impression that people aren't putting a full 100% effort in, which I think they were, but I don't really remember anyone getting rocked, or it's just a fight that came and went. Yeah.
You know, and it sounds a bit nasty to say it, isn't it? Because they do the training camps and they get in there and they try, like you say, there's no way they weren't trying their best to have a smash. The commentators were edging towards Haqparast, like you say, after getting defeated the previous 2 fights, making sure he won. You know what I mean? Fair enough. Well, you can't blame him for that, can you? You know what I mean? So
I mean, yeah, Makdessi's got he's got a decent UFC record, but like I say, it's just not enough. It's just not consistent enough. I mean, it's unbelievable. You know, he's even fought Sam Stan in the UFC.
Yeah, hands of stone. Now, funnily enough,
how long ago is that? That's like over 10 years. He's been in the UFC now for almost 12 years.
And only had 2 fights. Yeah, exactly.
He's only had 2, 4, 6, 8, I think 19 fights.
Loads then.
In 12 years, it's not that many. I mean, it's probably, you get some fighters that just, like we'll probably talk about later, people like Joaquin Buckley, who come in there and they just burn through some fights and contests like there's no tomorrow. They got 10 fights in the UFC when they only appear to have been in it for a year or 2. So,
well, look, let's just go with when I used to see Makdessi on cards, and the same as this one, when his name come up, and I've sounded like I've been crap, I did go brilliant, good fighter, yeah, exciting bloke and everything. Honestly, I did. I went brilliant, but it just turned out to not be brilliant. But he ain't crap. He ain't crap. Didn't he have an amazing fight with Cerrone where he got his jaw broken and all that? That was a good one.
Yeah, he did have a fight with Cerrone. Yeah, he lost to Cerrone, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good Powers, bloodbath version, I think, where he had to get his
look,
jaw
if you look at that fight, right? So when he fought Cerrone, after that, he's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's had 9 fights since he lost to Don Cerrone. We'll now see how many fights Don Cerrone had after that fight. Just to give.
Yeah, I mean, he was particularly an active fighter. But
yeah, I know it's not a great example, but since then, so Makdessi has had 9 fights since then. Cowboys had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13. I've lost count. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
Wow, it was already crap, the counting. But yeah, go on.
I think I don't know. I'll have to redo it. Forget it. Yeah, forget it. But a lot.
He's had loads.
Then let me do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
We'll store
13,
that number.
14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. He's had 20. In the same time that Makdessi's had 9, I think it was. So over double the fights.
All right. Well, like I said, pretty nasty comparison, but okay.
Yeah, it is, but it just, it's just
the facts are the facts, and that's all there is to it.
Yeah, you come up with something more interesting then. Right.
Well, I've done loads of stuff like what tattoo would you get, what show on your arm.
Yeah, that was a load of crap.
What was the other bit I said? Hang on, there were some other good ones. I said what the Smile Killer's nickname could mean. I've done good ones.
Yeah. All rubbish. Next.
All right. Well, I didn't say they were better, but I'm just saying I have tried. Next fight. Oh, well, it's performance of the night. It's against absolute muscle business, that bloody Stoltzfus. Look at that flipping bod. Abus Magomedov versus Duston. Have I spelled his name wrong? His name ain't Duston, is it?
You put Duston, yeah. It's like he's...
Oh, the I and the O are next to each other on the keyboard.
Yeah.
I've just checked. Okay, so Duston Stoltzfus. And yeah, well, look, what did you think? Let's have it.
Amazing that you managed to spell Stoltzfus right, but got Dustin wrong.
Performance of the night. This one, another performance of the night.
Not really much. Not really much to say about this fight. Is there?
Good, isn't he? That Magomedov. Weren't the Stoltzfus? He's another one of them big brick blokes,
Yeah, he's just sort of a grinding wrestler, kind of guy. Yeah, I mean, it was over. It was a nice front kick, and then he kind of fainted with a jab and threw out a nice uppercut. He definitely needed to land more strikes after that to finish that fight. If
you think so? You think it was an early?
I do, yeah. I mean, he definitely rung Stoltzfus' bell. He was definitely rocked and definitely in trouble about it because he after landing the kick, he kind of done a little bit of a wobble and retreated, and I think that's also what gave him the cut on his lip. But I don't think he was. It's not like he was wobbling and falling to the floor, right? It just that kick gave him cause for concern and made him retreat, understandably. But those follow-up punches were definitely needed, and they were accurate and they were fast, and that was all she wrote. So yeah, he certainly looks good, Magomedov. But like is often the case, you can't get too carried away with quick KOs because you don't get to see enough of the complete skill set. You don't get to see the things that we're talking about with Chimaev and Gilbert Burns. You don't get to see, have they got the grit, have they got the cardio, the gas tank, the chin, all these other things. So yeah, he looks great in a 19-second KO victory. But we've been stung before by Johnny Walker, right? We've been burned by this before, so I'm not going to get too carried away. I need to see a little bit more. But yeah, he looked, for those 19 seconds, looked very good. Great physique for this kind of sport as well, right? Sinewy, muscly, long, rangy, but still looks powerful. So got a good physique, good size to him, good range, good everything. But
that's a good point.
I need to see more than seconds.
very good point. His physical attributes lend themselves well for sure. So yeah, he looked good. But I quite like Duston and all. I know he got done, but
dust
he
off.
looks mint.
He does look good, yeah.
He looks a little bit like, what was that bloke called from back in the days?
He reminds me of Drew Dover.
The fighting method is the same, yeah, no difference.
But also, the bod, the fact that he's got a good bod and, a bit of
No, but what about the bloke from back in the days, the American badass or whatever his name is?
Bill Baroni.
Yeah.
New York
he's a bit of exactly a bit of a Baroni, no?
Yeah, a little bit. Not as muscly as Baroni, though.
And he looks a little bit like the bloke from Caged.
Matt Schnell.
Yeah.
Why don't you just say Matt Schnell rather than the bloke from Caged? It's a miracle that I knew who you were talking about. But he does look like, he could be his older, bigger brother or something.
Right.
Yeah.
So quite a few lookalikes there for him. Yeah, so good fight. Performance of the night. Yeah, all right. Well, brilliant. That's the prelims done.
See you later.
But we're going to do the main card now. So this is, well, I don't know. We'll do them separate, probably. Main card of the UFC Fight Night Paris. Ciryl Gane versus Tuivasa. Main card version. First fight on the main card was... I mean, these two are the best, aren't they? If you see their names, you know it's going to be the best. Double brilliant. Didn't Charles Jourdain versus Nathaniel, the prospect? Nathaniel, new version, like Duston. Nathaniel, the prospect would, right? Didn't he have a fight the other day, Charles Jourdain?
Yeah, it was against Shane Burgos, and I thought I wouldn't say got robbed in that fight, but he at least deserved a draw, in my opinion. But yeah, he lost the decision to Shane Burgos, didn't he? I think we had a chat about it. I kind of struggled to get my head around that, how he actually lost that decision. Yeah. But he lost to Burgos, and Burgos is Burgos was ranked and certainly a good fighter. So the fact that Nathaniel Wood won this fight is, a real feather in his cap. I have to say,
yeah, 100%.
I honestly thought Nathaniel Wood's going to lose this, not because I think he's not through a lack of skill, but he just seems to, he's overly aggressive sometimes, and he gets clipped on the feet sometimes, walks into punches and stuff. And I just thought against Jourdain, eventually he's going to walk into something. But Nathaniel Wood was brilliant this fight. Trips, throws.
He's amazing.
Bit of wrestling, bit of ground and pound, brilliant striking. His striking, I always think, is brilliant anyway. But like I said, I just think sometimes he's a bit like his coach, right? Brad Pickett, an aggressive guy. Certainly puts his chin out there, sort of sometimes takes one to land one, that kind of
amazing
swashbuckling style. And I just thought against Jourdain, it would cost him. And it didn't. Jourdain usually comes on very strong later in his fights. And Nathaniel Wood had him wilting. And, he caused the opposite reaction. Towards the end, to me, Jourdain was just getting mauled a little bit. And, he was kind of
doing what he wanted, wasn't he? With him, really.
Yeah. It's like sometimes it's like, I'll trip you up. Yeah, now I'll take you down. With another way. He said he don't like doing double legs because it takes too much energy. But he just like mixing it up and having his way with him is the truth. Which like I say, I thought Jourdain usually in his fights round threes when he comes on strong, he's had a couple of late finishes or big rallying third rounds and stuff, but not in this one. Nathaniel Wood just honestly, for want of a better term, beat him up. How about that?
He did beat him up.
Yeah.
I also thought. We're both done by both these, but I also thought Wood would probably get done because of long rangey, very dynamic.
Yeah.
But he wore him down.
I thought he'd walk into a knee or an elbow at some stage, and it would just do a lot of damage. And I think he did walk into a straight right hand or a straight shot or something in the first round. Wood. After that, I was watching it going, he's in complete control of this fight. Brilliant.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Brilliant performance. I think he's brilliant, Nathaniel Wood, anyway.
Amazing.
There was the card recently, what was the London card? And the fight was amazing. And he didn't get any performance of the night reward in that card. I was like, he's fighting. It was against Charles Rosa. That's it.
Oh,
And
yeah, bloody brilliant. He smashed Rosa's teeth out.
Yeah, and what a brilliant fight. And he
booted his leg away from him, smashed him in the face. It was absolute powers.
I couldn't believe
Brilliant
he didn't
fight.
get a bonus. Can't believe he didn't get a bonus for that fight because that performance was amazing as well. So I think he said that this was his first fight at featherweight. Usually fights at bantam. And honestly, to me, that beating Jourdain, it almost warrants him now getting sort of a top 15 sort of guy. You know, someone hovering around 14, 15, and that sort of touch. Because Jourdain arguably defeated Burgos recently, and Burgos was ranked or close to being ranked. So, yeah.
What's the deal with the new weight class then? What's that all about?
That I don't know. Maybe he's got tired of cutting weight, perhaps. I didn't see anything about it. But I was surprised to see him, fighting at a new weight class. But he looked great in it. You know, maybe
he did look amazing, but he's looked amazing in all these fights, is the truth. I think he's bloody brilliant. He is the same as Piquet. I mean, he's amazing.
He is, yeah.
And
yeah, he is, yeah. Well, he's our mate, isn't he? We've had a
he is our mate, yeah.
One
of the best blokes.
Yeah, you don't know it, but he is our mate. And
exactly.
Yeah. So Nathaniel, I actually like Nathaniel. You know, when I hear him chat and stuff like that, as well, I actually like him, Arnold Allen. I like both those guys. To me, they're kind of like the same bloke. You know, they're both brilliant. I like them both. Brilliant. Two really good English fighters.
They are amazing. Like I say, brilliant chats as well. Look, that don't mean we don't like Jourdain. Maybe, I don't know why he came back so quick. I swear his fight was only the other day.
It was recent, yeah, and it was a hell of a pace as well, that Burgos fight.
Yeah.
It was a real, you know, I'll do a classic on it, a slobber knocker. But it happened mid-July, so he's had, August? Yeah, I mean, there you go, August, and so he had all of August, a couple of weeks left in July, so it was probably about 6-7 weeks ago that he had that fight. So,
yeah, maybe he wanted to get back in there, get a win under his fingers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it didn't work out. I think that was a hell of a pace he had in that Burgos fight, and probably been best served just leaving it another month or so. I think, on reflection, but that's not to say that if he left it a month, the result would have been different. Because let's be honest, it didn't look like outside of a big shot he had much for Nathaniel Wood. Nathaniel Wood, like I say, just beat him up really.
Yeah, brilliant.
What
happened in that fight? Nathaniel Wood beat up Charles Jourdain. Yeah, okay.
That's it. Yeah.
It's good then, isn't it? Because it means it's a good fight. Next one then. William Jaguar Gomis versus Jarno Errens. What about his tat on that chest? What's that? Another big, massive, just wings?
I actually commented on this at the time. The chest one leaves me less cause for concern than the one going across his stomach. Which I'm assuming.
What's the one down his stomach? Is that his name? Is it?
Yeah, he says Errens, doesn't it?
Probably says Errens. I mean, that's
you can't see at the moment. It's just a stencil, isn't it? But the thing is, he looks.
He might be redoing it, getting it done.
Well, you might be getting it coloured in, at a late stage. But I mean, to me, I looked at him. I was like, he's a cool-looking dude, and then I saw that tattoo, and I went, you know.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. What about? Was it?
If he likes it, that's all that matters, right?
What was it saying? The wings.
Oh, does it say something? Does it?
Yeah. Can you? What you have to try and do is go to the bottom right of the picture of us, and then you make it full screen on your screen. It means you can see it more, but I can't read it.
I thought it said live. And
live. Yeah. Live. Good one. Yeah.
And it looks like on the other side, it's something like pride.
Yeah, and like a K in the middle or something. Live.
I'll look it up. You talk about the fight and I'll look it up on.
I can't talk about the fight. I can't remember it. I think it was boring. I might have fast forwarded it.
I didn't particularly like this fight. I mean, I actually think both of them were decent. I liked. I thought Errens was quite good. His fist and his boxing, his striking was not too bad, but he started getting taken down, didn't he? He started getting taken down in rounds 2 and 3, and that's what kind of made it a little bit of a lethargic affair in the end, because
Yeah.
there didn't seem to be any sort of threat of submission or anything like this, and it just kind of, there wasn't, big ground and pound that you were kind of going oof about either. It just kind of petered out into nothing. First round was actually quite entertaining. I think that it was quite a good matchup, both quite evenly matched, but yeah, it just sort of, with those takedowns and lack of threat on top, it just kind of developed into nothing. It didn't look like Errens could really stop the takedown or get back to his feet. So
the only thing I really remember noticing is that the Gomis Jaguar bloke had a bit of a strange, very narrow stance.
I also saw this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was times where I honestly thought he looked like he didn't know how to fight because his feet.
Yeah, when I saw the stance, I went, "Well, yeah." From the
But
stance, it's not a fighting stance. Yeah,
yeah, but then he actually started coming out with some pretty, snappy kicks. He had some good little spite and nip on those kicks. And I just thought, well, he certainly knows what he's doing, but just
something to it. Yeah,
there were certain times where I saw him in his stance like that.
They're almost like together, like
you could just push him over.
Yeah, they weren't like they were really strange.
It was bizarre, but
I thought he looked all right and all.
Yeah, but I thought Errens looked all right as well, but he looks like he needs someone who's not grapple heavy to start with.
You definitely look better now than when we started. I can't see you.
Yeah, that's good, isn't it?
It's brilliant.
It says, I'm sure it says on his chest. Well, I can see it. It says live to pride.
Live to pride?
No, live to ride. Live to ride.
Oh, he's motorbike bloke.
Motorbikes, or something like that. Yeah, live to ride. Live to pride. But I see why I thought it was live to pride, but yeah, it's live to ride.
Live to ride. All right. He's, and the wings are the freedom.
That's right, yeah.
I don't wings.
Chest tattoo, not got too big an issue with. I wouldn't get it personally, as you know, I'd get David Brent, but
with the guitar version.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But the stomach,
yeah.
Never understood why people get their name tattooed on themselves.
What about that hoodie you used to walk around in? Right. What a tattoo was it?
It weren't my name either.
Well, yes, it was. It was your initials.
That's not my name, is it?
Yes.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not your. It's just 2 letters. My name isn't DY, is it? For example, my name isn't BS or AT or anything like that. My name would be Anthony Thompson or BS Billy.
Yeah, well, I knew what those letters meant.
Yeah, but that's because you know my name. Anyway, it's not tattooed, is it? It's on a team. Football coaches have their initials on their tops.
So, okay, all right, fair enough. All right, well, are you finished with that fight?
I have.
Okay. Alessio Manzo di Chirico versus Roman Kopylov. Shame this, isn't it? Because di Chirico got done, and we love it.
Yeah, we like Chirico. I mean, there he actually he does look like some sort of Roman emperor there, doesn't he? You know, his face is brilliant. But I thought he'd done okay in this fight. But
I did.
I think since he's retired. So I think since.
How is he?
Yeah, I think since he's.
We're gonna have to go through his moments.
I saw an Instagram post, so yeah, I think he's retired.
Damn it!
But yeah, I thought he looked all right.
Yeah, same. Yeah, he always does.
He does, yeah. But I think when he lost this fight, I think he was giving it a bit of bravado. You know, when he dropped his hands, I think it was a little bit of he got caught with I can't remember if it was a kick or a punch, and he kind of dropped his hands as if to say, like, big deal.
I did notice the dropping hands. I wasn't sure.
And he
why.
didn't. Yeah, I don't think he dropped his hands because he didn't know where he was or he'd got rocked that badly. I do think it was a bit of bravado. You know, like sometimes if you get caught, you might smile or do that. Or
name another one. You didn't allow me to do it earlier. When
Paulo Costa, he does it a lot of the time. You know, if he gets kicked in the side, he goes like that, doesn't he? And
I've got one.
Go on.
Rashad up against the cage with Lyoto Machida.
That's the famous one.
Because
the
he
best one.
pulls his cup up, doesn't he? Like his sack, as if to say, like, yeah, big deal. Is that it? Is that all you've got? And then ends up smashed.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
the ultimate one. There have been some other ones as well, some famous ones where people have been taunting and stuff like that, and then out. So
yeah, I mean, it's a shame. I definitely wouldn't have wanted him to retire. I mean, he's brilliant.
yeah,
He's
especially
actually good.
in the middleweight division as well. You know, he's but
Yeah,
maybe understand
that.
it. It's a hard way to earn a living. And if you really feel like you've given all you can give and you're not breaking, say, the top 15 or the top 10, and you don't feel like you can make it to the top, are you really going to want, unless you're sort of someone who just loves a tear up, are you really going to want to carry on doing this for a living?
Wow. I mean, look, that's what Gustafsson said. He said, I got into this to be the best. To be the best means champ, belt, etc., etc. That's what I got into this for. And when he did the retiring the first time, because I'm sure it's been a couple of times now, he said, maybe it has only been once and he's just come back and got done. But what he said was, and I loved it, he went, and as I don't feel like I can get there, it's pointless. So I'm banning it. Obviously, then he went home, had to think about it, came back, and I believe he's had 2 fights, and he come back and he's got done in both.
I think it's more than that, isn't it? Didn't he
Heavyweight
do
ones, isn't it?
Yeah, he done the whole heavyweight thing, and that. Honestly, I actually thought he looked good at heavyweight. You know, he looked way more nimble and fast than the other heavyweights, but it just seems that he's punch resistance or whatever those John Jones fights just seem to have took so much out of him. It's a real shame, isn't it? That because
yeah, it is. Gareth said he was going to be champ. You remember? He got close with the John Jones.
That was the curse. At that point, he should have known it was over. But
thinking Gareth done him.
Yeah, he lost to John Jones, and then after that, lost to Anthony Smith, then lost to Fabrizio Verdum, and then recently lost to Krylov.
Well, all right. Well, you know, Krylov is absolute powers, I think. Is Krylov the bloke who kicked off Manoa's head?
No, that's Rakic, Alexander Rakic.
Yeah, that. Right.
But Krylov is Krylov's decent. He's good, but he is the kind of guy that sort of 5 or so years ago, Gustafsson was, you know, I don't want to say running rings round, but, you know, he would have been, you know, beating guys like that, right? Remember, you know, Gustafsson had a great record at light heavyweight. But I guess, you know, father time waits for no man. So that's that.
All right. Well, look, let's just stick to this fight quickly. Look, I didn't know he'd retired, so sorry to hear that. Alessio, both fans of yours, both think you're brilliant. Happy to see you in there, but I did like your comment. A hard way to make a living. I like that. You know, we don't know why. I ain't heard any interviews or anything yet, and I'm sure I will. But yeah, that is a shame. This Roman Kopylov, what are we saying? Any good?
He's all right, yeah. He's like a Russian Ben Askren to look at, obviously not actually fighting.
No, he's like that other kid.
Or a Russian Chase Hooper, yeah.
That's him.
Yeah.
Chase Hooper, yeah, that one, yeah.
But yeah, obviously not fighting style wise. But yeah, I think he's all right. I'm not going to get too over enthusiastic. I didn't watch this performance and go, wow, this guy's a future contender or anything. But yeah.
He was good though. He beat someone good who looked good as well on the night. It weren't like he looked crap. So yeah.
Yeah, and got a good finish. I think it's kind of peculiar that he said in his after fight interview, and I don't know if it got misinterpreted, but he said sort of like he felt like he had to go out and get the finish. I was like, you were 2 rounds up, in my opinion, 2 rounds up and heading for a 30-27 sweep. But maybe he felt that the fight weren't going to plan and whatnot. But yeah,
maybe he wanted to make his mark, garner some attention.
No, he did, but not enough for us to keep talking about it.
Correct. That's why I'm moving on to the next fight, which is Nassourdine Imavov versus Joaquin Numanza Buckley. Yeah, good point about Buckley. He's always having a bloody smash up, isn't he? Him.
Yeah, I really like him loads.
Yeah, he's bloody brilliant, isn't he? And this was another fight where he just went, I think I know I'm losing this fight and I'm going to do something about it. And that didn't work. He still lost it. But I do love the fact that this bloke, he's just a no give up, always going to swing and smash your face in. He's good. He's good. But this Imailov, Nassourdine bloke, he's slick, isn't he?
Yeah. Right, next fight. Yeah, no, I do think Imailov is I do think he's good. Like I say, he's got nice. Reminds me a little bit of someone like Gabriel, someone like that. You know, he reminds me of that. You know, in his fighting style, I guess even in his looks. Now that I'm looking at the picture, I meant in his fighting style. You know, he's kind of quite languid, relaxed, but you know, good skills and yeah, I think he's good. I think with Buckley, I don't know if you feel the same, but I almost feel like the fact that they've kind of taken a bit of so they've kind of polished him a bit, and they've taken a bit of recklessness out of his fighting style, and I think that's a detriment because in round 3 he fought a little bit like the Buckley that came in and fought Kevin Holland, you know, and was just swinging for the bleachers and stuff like that.
He did, but
and
those swinging bleachers,
that was the best round he had. And if you remember his last performance, I can't remember whose last fight was against. Let me see
if I can get it. Wait, let me see if I can get it. I can't.
No, you can't. It was it Albert Juraev?
Right. Like I said, I can't.
No, maybe it's the Razak Al Hassan fight I'm thinking of. Anyway, regardless, there was a fight recently where I watched him. I just went, he seems to have, I don't want to say lost that killer instinct.
There was one where he was very reserved and trying to be overly technical, take his time and pick his shots.
Skirting around the side of the cage. I was like, this ain't the guy that came in and fought Kevin on. He was ducking, bobbing. To me, he was like a little Mike Tyson that came in. I was like, this guy's fantastic. And he seems to have lost that a little bit. And I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing. It's probably better to have a little bit more of a conservative and thoughtful fighting style.
You've got to balance it out, haven't you? And he's still learning, you know. So
I think the balance is just maybe where it was like this before, it's been switched a little bit like that. And it's just find something a bit more happening. Round 3, I think he was giving. I'm not saying Imailov was worried. I'm not saying he was ever hurt. But I think he was definitely giving him a bit more cause for concern in round 3 when he was swinging.
Giving him stuff to think about.
Yeah, and thinking, you know, if I get clipped by one of these big hooks, it could be good night. I definitely think, to me, Buckley got round 3. And, I just think it maybe that balance of his fighting style has just been altered slightly, and it needs to be realigned a bit. And the reason why I like him a lot is, I mean, I heard a little while back that he's been to a few gyms before, and I remember there was that little bit of beef with James Krause, and people were like, "Oh, Buckley's got a bit of an attitude problem." I was like, every time I see him, I just think this guy's got an amazing attitude. When he got knocked out by Chirico, he was amazing afterwards. He wasn't like bitter or salty or storm out the ring. He was wicked. He was amazing.
Yeah, he was good.
And this time, I was like, he was in the corner, and that guy gave him the sort of the Leon Edwards style speech. You know, come on, get up. You know, you can still do this. And I loved it because Buckley just went, F it, and stood up and put his gum shield in and was like, you know, that's it, I'm going to go out and smash this guy. And he did. He didn't just try for the first 30 seconds and then go, oh, I can't catch him, and then give up again. The whole 5 minutes, he was like, I'm going to get this guy, I'm going to get this guy. And it's only when the bell went.
I've got 5 minutes.
Yeah. Honestly, Buckley, I think he's brilliant. Really fantastic. I like the guy and everything.
Yeah, he's brilliant, right? But he's learning, and what he needs to do, and obviously I'll become his coach for the day. What he needs to do is know when to switch the old version on, the balance, right? Yeah. Because, like you say, he was here, and now he's here. But there's plenty of times, and that fight that irritated us a little bit. Maybe that's not the right word, but the fight we're both talking about, where you saw the switch, there were plenty of times where he could have switched them winging powers hooks on, and he still didn't, you know, and that's all he needs to do is just go, right, now's the time to switch that on. Round 5, he knew he had the energy, the gas tank to go out there and go mad. I think he's fantastic and all. Absolutely brilliant. Everything brilliant. And I think the grief he was getting is he went to not a fight camp place. He went to a bloke who does, like, I don't know, military weird stuff that not a lot of people, but some people say his techniques aren't real and this, that, and the other. And like a bloke who.
Oh no, I know the guy you're talking about. No, it was before that he.
Because I like those chats as well. That he went and learnt some sort of street stuff off of this.
There's loads of memes.
A saviour bloke. You know, a bloke who saves victims and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
I know who you're talking. It's a guy with a moustache. He's actually been in somebody's corner for one of their fights. I can't remember.
I think he's brilliant. Yeah.
But he's the guy that always, like, you know, if someone comes along and points a gun at you here, you just go
That's him.
Turn around on him.
That's him.
And the people do loads of memes where they're like, they practice it and then they just end up in heaven because obviously it doesn't
right.
But
Buckley didn't. You know, he said, "No, I learned stuff. I went there and learned stuff from him."
I remember him going there.
So he's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Trying stuff out.
Every time I've seen him, I've gone, this guy's attitude is the best. But just look,
every interview I've heard,
don't know what's happened behind closed doors or in the past, or maybe he's matured, or I don't really know. Honestly, I don't really care either. Some people just don't get on with others. Whatever, I'm not interested in that. All I know is what I see. I think he's brilliant. That's all there is to it. And he got a lot, but knowing Buckley will be back having another smash in, before the year's out, and put someone on their backside. So,
he reminds me of, as in the progression of his career and his different fighting methods and he's learning. He reminds me of Khalil Roundtree.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, a guy that's behind closed doors gradually changed his style and picked from a lot of different places, and it seems to benefit him. So I think he's brilliant.
I think maybe Roundtree's a bit further through that progression, right? Because in his last fight, when he switched on that violence, when he stopped that guy, one of the most brutal finishes I've ever seen. And so he seems to have found a good sort of balance for that. And maybe Buckley, like I say, look, what do we know?
It's coming. I don't look like he's giving up or not fighting or anything like that.
Yeah. I think he will crack the top 10 and everything eventually.
He's quality. He's good. So
anyway, that's enough Buckley loving, because he lost, right? So he lost, but
he did.
Imavov is decent. He's a top 10 guy for sure.
Definitely.
But
who he reminds me of? Oh, for flip's sake! Right, next fight.
Right, next.
No, I was going to say Rakhmonov, but I thought no, I'll move on to the next fight. But that kind of thing. Anyway, I'm just drawing parallels. The next fight is the co-main event, I believe. Robert the Reaper Whittaker versus the other Italian on the card, Marvin. Well, he's the Italian Dream, Vittori.
This was a little bit like Haqparast Makdessi, but middleweight.
It was. Now there's a good parallel for you, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think we like both these guys, even though Vittori is and I thought he had a decent first round, Vittori. But one thing I will say is Whittaker probably has one of the best fight IQs, I think, going, because quite a few fights now he's had slightly ropey first round, or a first round where he's maybe lost it, the other person's nicked it. But he always seems to find a way to win rounds 2 and 3. And even against Adesanya, right, didn't have a great first round in the rematch, I don't think it was. But he kind of figured Adesanya out, and arguably, for some people, he nicked that fight. So I think he's obviously got really good fight IQ. This just weren't particularly an exciting fight. I don't think Whittaker's got the most exciting style. If people are gonna call out Adesanya for having a few boring fights, Whittaker the same. I mean, I think Whittaker's great. I'm just saying that he's not. His last few fights not been the most exciting.
They ain't, and they've all a bit like Makdessi. They're all the same.
Yeah, he sort of just finds a way to outthink people, outstrike people. It's not outstrike people in a devastating way where it's like, I figured you out and now I'm going to boot your head off. I mean, he does boot people in the head and he does land good strikes, but he's not. He doesn't throw many combinations, I don't find. He doesn't throw like bang, 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 bang. It's kind of, he picks people off, doesn't he? Picks people off, counter punches people.
Yeah.
And so, some of his performances haven't been the most exciting, but again, we just talked about. Go on.
Something like that in the post-fight interview that he gives everyone grief. He said some words. What he said before? That fight with him and Darren Till, and they both said it was the most stressful fight both of them said it, that they've had because they were both on edge constantly. He used words to that effect at the end of this fight and said, look, I'm everyone's nightmare because I make them work or something like that. Something like that.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And
I
that's
think
true,
he's got that good fight IQ where he sort of almost freezes opponents in a way where they're like, well, I don't want to throw anything. So if I throw this, then I get caught with this. If I throw this, then I get caught with that. You know, and that kind of thing. And so he's just, I mean, if you look at just looking here, I mean, he's what an amazing run he's on. You know, he's had since 2014, right? Middle of 2014. So over 8 years. He's got one. I'm going to do the counting thing again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 wins, 2 losses.
Right.
And those 2 losses are against Adesanya. Oh, that's amazing.
And it was a good matchup, as in these are the 2 blokes that have had 2 fights against Adesanya and lost both fights, and now they fight each other. So I think it was a good idea for a matchup, and Whittaker came out on top on that one and all.
Yeah, no, it kind of panned out the way I expected it to pan out. But I mean, he had the 2 Yoel Romero fights, which were both amazing. Then he lost to Adesanya. And then since then, it's been Till, Cannonier, Gastelum, and Vettori decisions with the Adesanya loss mixed in there as well.
Right.
Each of those 4 wins, right, are against real top contenders. But all of them, I have to say, were... I know some people will sit there and go, from a technical point of view, this was a masterclass and an amazing fight, and I don't doubt it. But just from a drunken, just bleed, you know, kind of fan perspective, they haven't been the most exciting, you know, spectacle.
And funnily enough, though, and strangely enough, you are not a drunken, just bleed type of bloke. Not just a bloke, but you also don't like really that kind of fight, unless it's Rockhold and... what's his name? Paulo Costa. Yeah, it's not really your thing. Yet, you know, you can see that this is a technical thing. But look, at the end of the day, it weren't that interesting, exciting, and it weren't. No. But for those 2 blokes in there, I can imagine that it was absolute grief the whole way. I can imagine. Yeah. And I can't imagine it actually myself, but you know, I do understand that principle that Vettori probably was constantly thinking, "How do I do this, bloke? I can kind of beat him up, but I can't." And Whittaker was constantly probably going, I'm winning here, just got to keep this bloke off me. You know, you can see that it's constant. It must be well tiring, that on the on the brain.
It's one of those things that I think with Whittaker, it's one of those things that he figures people out, and then if you throw a jab, he's got a counter for it. And eventually you go, right, well, I can't throw a jab because I don't know, he throws a lead hook over the top of my jab or something. And then, you know, whatever. And it gets to a point where he just shuts the opponent down. But he's not someone who's then going to go, I'm now going to take the extra risk and go and smash his face in and stop him. He's like, I'm happy to, he even said in the after-fight interview, didn't he, that he's happy to, you know, if you can get someone down on their back for 25 minutes and hold them there and get the win, then you would do. And he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. That is what you have to do. But I'm just saying from an entertainment perspective, his last few fights haven't really got my juices flowing, including the Adesanya one. You know, none of them really. No. He's not a volume guy. Like I say, he doesn't throw combinations, this, that, and the other. He just sort of.
No, he's like a bit more of a point striker karate bloke, really.
Yeah, he wins the individual point striking sort of battle, and that kind of wins the fight for him. And he's amazing at it. I mean, look at his record. Like I say, 13 out of 15 wins, 2014, only losses against the champ. And one of those is a contested loss. I mean, it's pretty amazing. I never thought when I saw him on that Ultimate Fight series, we thought he was amazing. Then we thought he was really good.
Oh, Australia versus UK was that?
He knocked out Darren Newman or whatever his name was and stuff like that. Never thought he would have taken, been this successful. Especially, you know, at welterweight, he got beaten by Stephen Thompson and people like that. Never thought he'd go up to middleweight and do what he's done. But,
no.
But yeah,
look. The thing that surprises me about Whittaker, I mean, he hasn't retired, so we should be doing this chat with Chirico. But especially after all the bumhole stuff, you know, where he got done injured and he was getting smashed up from that, I just thought, you know, and losing the belt and everything. Like operation up there and all that. There was a fight where he's basically there on the night or whatever, and they just went, no, he needs emergency surgery, and it was I guess, colon-y type thing or something like that. You know,
Right.
and it always made me think that it sounded serious enough, and his position where he was always the number one contender and just couldn't get rid of the champ, to kind of make him go, that's all good. You know, I've got plenty of money and family's all set up. I mean, I don't know his situation, but he seems to chat like that I'd think he'd go, forget it. And there was one point where he did say that. And ever since he's come back from that and went, I've really, learned to fall in love, back in love with it again and all that. I am surprised that, like you said, hard way to make a living for someone who's done it. He's done that. Gustafsson admittedly went, I ain't done it and I don't think I can do it now. So forget it, right? This guy has done it. So he can just go, forget it. And he ain't. He's still coming back. And he said in the post-fight interview, didn't he? Like, I'm still there or whatever. Keep bringing me blokes. I'm still going to do them, and I'm right there. Keep fighting. I'll eventually get to the belt again. Can't argue with that. Keeps fighting and winning. You get to the belt again.
I don't see how you can deny him another title shot. The second, if he got waxed in the second fight as well, like he did in the first, I'd go, yeah, it's a hard sell. He didn't, right? It was a 50-50 fight. And he can also make the claim, look at the improvement from the first fight to the second fight. Now the third fight, I'm definitely, got the final piece of the jigsaw. He can definitely make that claim. It's kind of a hard sell. I don't think there's really that many people outside of, his fellow countrymen and stuff like that are really going to be that hyped for that fight. But I don't see how you can deny it. Because...
Well, okay. Well, speaking of those chats, let's not go mad because in the name of trying to keep things as short as we possibly can, what's the next fight for Whittaker then? You've got the Yada blokes at on. And what are you going to do with Whitters then? Are you saying he should get Adesanya's, or has he got to do something else? And then same for Vittori. Or is Vittori doing a cheap D Chirico's, going off and having pizza and pasta in Italy with him, going to see Errens in Rome?
Okay, well, I would say that you've obviously got Pereira versus Adesanya. A lot hinges on what happens there, right? If Pereira beats Adesanya, and let's just say we don't go down the rematch route, although let's
do that, yeah.
But if Pereira wins, then it's undeniable that Whittaker gets the next shot. If Adesanya, if Adesanya wins, I think you can't make any fight other than Whittaker. Because you look at the people beneath him, Cannonier, Vittori, Pereira. Obviously, Pereira will have been beaten by Adesanya. Vittori, he's just done. He's beat Cannonier before. Brunson, he's beaten Brunson before, I believe. Paulo Costa, Sean Strickland. So forget it. After that, just forget it. So to me, if Adesanya beats Pereira outside of something weird where people will clamour to see a rematch, I'd go, you have to make Whittaker Adesanya 3. If Pereira beats Adesanya, I think you'd probably see a rematch, in which case Whittaker might have to take another fight. Honestly, who's he going to fight? I think maybe Paulo Costa. Maybe. Outside of that, who else? Who else can he fight? Like I say,
he ain't had a fight with him, has he? That's the only bloke.
He's beaten Brunson, he's beaten Cannonier, he's beaten Vittori. After that, you're looking at Cannonier, Vittori, Pereira obviously will have been beaten. He's beaten Brunson. So yeah, next person would be Paulo Costa, Sean Strickland, Jack Manson. I mean, he shouldn't be fighting Strickland, Manson, Till he's beaten for, Muniz, Gastelum he's beaten for. So you can't really look any lower than that. To me, it would have to be a Paulo Costa fight. As sort of an in-between, or wait for the rematch Adesanya Pereira and get the winner of that. But
let's say there ain't a rematch, or there is a rematch and then Pereira wins again, as example, then is it all right for Whitters to have a smash with Pereira?
Yeah, of course, 100%.
Got to be in it.
That'd be the only fight to make.
And what about Vittori? What's happening? Because he's done loads of blokes and all.
He has, yeah. I mean, I don't know, maybe...
tough spot, as they say, you know what I mean?
It is a tough spot, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Let me have a quick look. Maybe... Has he fought this guy? He's fought Hermansson. He's beaten Kevin Holland. Beaten Costa. Yeah, difficult one. Maybe someone like a Brunson. That'd be a good little fight, don't you think?
Yeah.
Be a nice little fight for Brunson.
I'd be interested to see what happens.
Job done. Brunson versus Vittori and Whittaker versus the winner.
Either of them.
Done. Next.
Fixed.
Easy.
This one got fight of the night. They always, not always, but most of the time they give the fight of the night to the main event, don't they? I'm not saying they don't deserve it. I'm just saying it seems to be a bit of a thing.
Well, I do think this deserved some kind of reward
Something.
or bonus. Yeah.
Yeah. This is Ciryl Bongamin Gun versus Tai Bamban Tuivasa. And, yeah, I mean, I liked it. I thought it was brilliant.
It was brilliant, yeah. And Tuivasa is, to me, proved he's one of the, say, top 5 without doubt, you know.
I love the guy. You know, this is a bloke at the start. We were like, what's all this shoey crap and all that? And as you said, it kind of made him a bit more interesting because he had something for you to chat about and something to identify him with, which is always a good thing because he's not allowed to have the shorts, etc., etc. So I do think that is right, and we did grow. It grew on us, that image of him doing that, right?
Yeah.
But the main thing is that he says that I'm going to bring it to him and have a smash. And a lot of the times people say that and they freeze in the moment and don't do that. And that's twice. He's done it in all of his fights, but particularly against Derek Lewis and Ciryl Gane, I'm like, you know what? They're guys where you could have froze a bit and you still didn't. He's fantastic.
Yeah, I think the reason why I said he's definitely worthy of that top 5 slot now is because if you look at his record up until the Derek Lewis win, really done much to justify being a top 10 guy. Really, you know, Harry Hunsucker, Greg Hardy, and Augusto Sakai. You know, I don't think that really makes him a top of the tree sort of fighter. But his performance against Derek Lewis was amazing. Like I said, lots of people, and when we say lots of people, we mean pretty much everyone who Lewis has fought. You know, whether it be in Gane or whoever, has kind of frozen against Derek Lewis. Now, what I mean by frozen is they haven't fought their normal usual fight. They've been extra hesitant, extra cautious, and he just kind of went. It was kind of because Derek Lewis also went in aggressive with him, but he just went all out with it. And I was just, I thought it was an amazing performance. But I thought, you know what, maybe he just got lucky in that. But I saw this fight as well. I was like, people don't do this with Ciryl Gane. This aggressive, this come forward. I mean, floored him and everything. You know what, Tuivasa is the real deal. You know, in a very talent shallow division, he's brilliant. He goes in there, he has a smash, he puts it on the line. He's a bit of a Justin Gaethje of the heavyweight division. There you go, something like that.
Yeah, well, another parallel. You know, another comparison. The thing is, we know that his skills ain't amazing, but he's just in the right division for that attitude.
Yeah, that attitude.
It gets you a long way, right?
Yeah, the skills he has got. He's got this. It's good. He's really good at faking that. I don't think he's faking it, you know, kind of recoiling that he's really hurt. And then when someone.
No, he did do a good one in this one, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, he does that a few times. And I do think that those kicks were basically what done him in.
Ooh,
those kicks
man. Flipping heck.
I thought he'd have had a lot of protection. Like, it's almost like he's got loads of sponge around these organs to protect him.
Okay, I can attest, right, being of Tuivasa's shape. Yeah. It doesn't help. It might help keep you warm. What you need there is muscle. Where there is no muscle, you get problems. So if you're even a muscle-bound guy who's trained and conditioned to take punches and kicks, people will aim for the solar plexus because there's no muscle there. So there's nothing protecting it. And if you're in that kind of shape, a lot of people look at the strongest men and all that, can have muscle underneath guts, right? You can have it. But he don't look like he has. So I'm just saying that I know what you're saying, but it kind of just vibrates as opposed to protects anything. And Gunn was good with it as well. You know, he was doubling up on those kicks and stuff, which is brilliant. Right? It's good to see when you see Saints working. Go to it, you know, and he did. When this is working, front kicks are working, stabbing him in the guts working. That round kick worked to his gut, so I'll just throw another one. He's not defending, he's reacting to it. I'll throw another one. When he got close, and he put punches in his face and all that. He was good, wasn't he? I know we've just said brilliant. Again, what we've done that method of taking the loser, Imaev fight. We took the loser, Buckley, and said they're brilliant. And there is something to be said for that, what people show you when they lose or whatever. And I know why we said Tuivasa's brilliant, but now we better move on to the winner because he was brilliant.
He was, yeah. And let's be brutally honest. A hell of a lot of his fights in the UFC have not been the most exciting, and I think he's not lucky, but he had a willing dance partner, let's say, in this fight. You know, someone who wasn't going to just go on the defensive, wasn't just going to be content to be outstruck from the outside. You know, someone who was like, no, I'm going to, go out swinging. And it brought the best out of Gane as well. So it was good for him, and it was good because obviously it was the first event in France, and it would have been horrible if they had just like a boring 5-round snooze fest as, kind of the debut show. And it was good that the main event was a riotous affair. There was one bit where they sung the French national anthem, the Marseillaise, the crowd. That was amazing. Fun, innit? Because, I hear stuff and I go, brilliant, It's kind of...
I love it.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. Yeah, and
of course it was. It's the best.
And it just seemed it had a little bit of the echoes of, remember that London card where everybody went mad for it, and Thomas Wall and all this sort of stuff. It kind of had echoes of that a little bit. This was the French version. It was their first event. They got the winners they wanted in the big fights, and it was the main event was really, say if you flipped it around and the Vettori Whitaker fight was the main event, and this was the co-main, the kind of night would have gone out on a bit of a anti-climax because this was the main event, and there's two guys swinging for the bleachers and all that sort of stuff. It was just a nice ending. National anthem, everything brilliant. French went home happy. They got their winner. I was a little bit down because I wanted Tuivasa, but. But you can't have it all. And the main thing is Nathaniel Wood won. That was if someone said to me, "Who do you want to win on this card? Which one do you want to guarantee this person's going to win?" I'm going to do your thing of if you had to get a tattoo, or someone's going to stick a needle in your neck and say, "Who do you definitely want to win on this card?" Would have been Nathaniel Wood. But after that, probably Tuivasa. No, probably Buckley after that. Then Tuivasa.
Yeah.
Buckley. Yeah, it was good. It went out on a high, really. That event.
It did.
Good performance as well.
And that is good. I mean, I do know the comparisons with the London. Obviously, they ain't quite got the brashness and loudness of the, of the British crowd. I mean, they're a bit more nuts or whatever. But the facts are the facts. If you look at, I think mainly that is because if you look at the talent, say, from France, they ain't got the pool of fighters like the UK has got, right? So you look at that card, there was a lot of Europeans on it, Sweden, England and stuff like that. So I think a lot of fights fell off that card. So I don't know, maybe there was some other French people on there, but there weren't that many. St. Denis, there weren't that many French fighters to go mad for. So it's good that the main event did do that, and it kind of works out how they want it. I mean, we know it ain't fixed, we know it ain't set up, but it kind of feels like that. It's like, this is how it's meant to have played out. And that is good. Don't always happen, right? Duston, Sweden.
Yeah.
Is that one? Don't always happen, right?
I went to one of the ones in England, and every British fighter lost, except for, in the end, I think Bisping won against, it was either the Sexy Armour card or someone else. He won in the main event. Right. But before that, Dan Hardy got knocked out by Condit.
Right,
I can't remember, because I've been to a couple. There was one where John Hathaway got beaten by Mike Quicksand Pyle, but there was one event where basically every British fighter every European fighter got done, and it was down to Bisping, and I think he'd done his typical thing of almost getting knocked out in the first round as well. So everyone was like, "Geez, this is going to be a really crap night," but he pulled it out of the fire. But yeah, it was a good happy ending. And
it depends.
Not a bad card, really. All in all, I suppose it was. All right.
It's never set up and all that stuff. Gustafsson got done in Sweden, but he also went to England and smashed out Manoa main event. That means Manoa got done on the the British card, if you like. So that's what makes it good and interesting and whatnot. I do think it was quite a good card and entertaining. I got a couple more tidbits to bring up about it. And I don't know what's going on, whether it's changed or not, or whether people just sneaked him in. But there was quite a few flags in this one. Not loads.
What you mean from fighters in the cage afterwards?
No, crowd. And remember, as a...
Yeah, I saw in the crowd. I saw.
There weren't loads. There was, you still count them on there wasn't loads. But there was more than none, and they were getting filmed a lot.
I'm not sure that the issue is with crowd flags, right? It's with fighters bringing
No,
flags.
he's crowd. You're not allowed to take them into the event either.
All right.
They get taken away at the door.
Difficult thing to police, though, right? If you've just got one folded up in your pants or something.
You can crush that into nothing. But if you look at a lot of the other events, they've done a good job of it, if you like.
Yeah.
The main thing was not that people had snuck them in, because there was a bloke running up and down the aisle with one, and when they were doing the anthem, when there was Vittori and Di Chirico, there was quite a lot of Italian flags there as well. Not loads, by the way. Definitely, you can tell.
I remember seeing them, but I just didn't think there was a problem with crowd flags. I thought it was just with fighters.
Yeah, no, it's definitely that as well, yeah. But it was just the fact that unless the problem's over, and I'm going to say that it isn't over, because you would have seen, I would guess, a lot more flags, and fighters would have had them, etc., etc. But it's just that when they were there, the cameras filmed them and aired them on telly, and I thought, oof, it's weird that not weird that they got snuck in, but weird that the cameraman or no one said, stop filming the flags, you're not allowed to have them or whatever, shouldn't be in here. Unless I'm wrong, because I do know you're not allowed to take flags into events, the fans as well. But that one, I don't know. But it just seems there was hardly any, so you probably ain't allowed. Or the word gets around, you don't bother taking one. And you turn up with one, and they go, yeah, no problem. Who knows, right? Weren't there. We could have gone to that one. Train ride away. Could have gone.
We could have, but we could have gone. We can go to the ones in America as well if we want. But
no, they're not a train ride away. You should have said to me, bad comparison. Bad comparison.
I never said they were a train ride away, did I? I did. We could go to the American ones if we wanted.
Yeah, I know, but I said we could have gone because it was a train ride away. Why didn't you say to me, yeah, but so is the London one instead of an American one?
Why am I green?
I know, it's brilliant. Like jaundice version.
Yeah, I know, yeah. I'm like a real pale white guy and I look green. Anyway.
One other thing. I'm guessing you picked up on it, saw it, the adverts, the trailers, the Rock trainers. What's happening?
No, they look shit, didn't they? Oh, sorry. Then they with the bull or whatever on the back. Look rubbish.
Yeah, I mean, did you manage to catch any of it?
It's like I can't do anything without seeing that idiot.
It's true. He's puts himself in everything that he wants to.
Yeah,
whether it be politics or
I just sick and tired
BMF belts or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just sick and tired of seeing him with these bloody tight shirts and extra big. There's definitely not natural muscle business. With his head's about as big as my head. He's on like about a 19 stone body. He just gets on my nerves. I mean, it's got nothing to do with that. If I liked him, I'd go, he's brilliant. He looks amazing. But it's because something bang rubs me up the wrong way.
Well, he's got his oar in there again.
Yeah,
so
wherever the Rock wants, the Rock gets, right?
That's what I'm saying. And that, and it was all over it. Adverts have been walking around with the BMF belt on his shoulder and all that. Yeah.
Ain't he brilliant?
I almost wanted to put it on so we could watch it, but anyway. So that's the Paris card. You've got anything else to say on this card?
No.
Okay, let's rate it.
On a real bad note, leave me with a Rock. Crap.
Taking the wind out your sails.
Yeah.
What about, let's give it an out of 10, the event. We used to do that. I like that. Let's do that. Hang on. Wait, before you do it, wait a minute. Before you do it, I'll just give you a quick rerun.
Hey,
and as we're doing the rerun, we can go back to Yado Yaya because he's brilliant.
Yeah,
right?
Thanks, Yado. Right, next. Right, well, I can't comment on that, so just skip through them until
I'm just doing it, I'm giving it
a quick... Well, you've gone too fast.
Okay, I was just refreshing. Okay, yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I'll help you, right? I'll help you.
I'm not saying that one. Go forward.
No, I'll help you. This was all right. Yeah.
All right.
This was good.
Yeah.
This was good.
Yeah.
That was all right.
Yeah. This went great. I'll give all the fights at scores out of 10. Go on, go back one.
Okay. Is that, that's the first one. How much?
5.
Yeah, can't argue with that, really.
Well, just had a big quick knockout. I mean, so 8.
Brilliant.
Brilliant from Nathaniel Wood, but I've got to try and take my English fighter follower hat off and try and view it as a neutral and go, okay, it was a brilliant fight, brilliant performance, but I know a lot of people go, well, there were no knockdowns or whatever. So I'm going to say, for me, it was maybe a bit high, but I'm going to say 7.
All right.
Nah, I didn't like this fight because of just the first round was okay. I'm going to give that 5 as well.
Yeah, crap.
Well, the wrong guy.
This was all right.
Now the wrong guy won, but I'm going to give this a 6. I actually thought this was all right as well, but it definitely wasn't as good as Nathaniel Wood or Jourdain, so I'm going to give this a 6.
I was going to say you've already scored them, so you've done yourself.
Ooh, I'm going to say this was a 4. Boring, I thought.
It unfortunately it was, yeah, but
8.
Yeah. And
so
the whole event,
maybe about 6 on average, the whole event. But it's just because of the order of the fight and because, it was the best fight ended it, it kind of left you with a...
Right. But it's not just about the fights, as you know, it was about the crowd, the atmosphere,
the atmosphere,
the anthem stuff you brought up, the Rocks trainers.
Yeah, that's back down again.
Right. Bangs it down. But do you know what I mean? So I can't deny it. I enjoyed it.
All right. Well, marry it then.
Yeah. Well, I don't know where to put the ring.
Joke, isn't it?
Yeah, and I don't know who to ask. But I don't know who to ask. Who owns the event? Who am I marrying? The stadium?
Should have done it Chewy.
Now, I was wondering about that. I thought...
I'm never doing that.
No, but hang on. He got done, right? But why did he still not do shoeies after? Or maybe he did, but I'm saying you don't have to win.
I like it. He does it. I can't like it when he does it when he wins.
Okay.
You can't just do a shoey after every fight because then it loses some sort of meaning. It's wicked that when he wins, he jumps up on the cage kind of shudders a bit because it thinks, oh, I ain't been, I didn't expect to have this on top of me. Someone throws a shoe, bang, bosh. I think that's, as you know, I hated it when it first happened. Now it's one of my favourite UFC sort of celebration things.
It's something.
So it should be for when he wins, and he's got to keep it special and unique for that. I know he's doing it all the time, but he's got to keep it for the wins.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Sometimes, but sometimes he can't help it in it because he leaves the cage, and then a fan will be.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So maybe he'll still have to do that. But I know what you mean about the celebration, the win.
Yeah, that's his thing.
Yeah.
That's his thing, and you should keep it.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's it. I ain't doing any more chats about this.
I'm burnt out.
Well, okay. Right. Well, thanks very much. See you later.
And I'm so burnt out, I've even changed skin colour.
Yeah. It's true.
So
it's true.
You look at my hands.
Although you're actually starting to look burnt.
Actually, look, I've got a killer tan. It's even making my teeth look white, and trust me, they ain't. So
yeah, you're more yellow than your teeth.
Yeah.
Right. See you later.
Yeah, nice one. See you later.
All right.